What I'm going to share with you in this video is going to change your arm balance game forever. A lot of people think arm balances are about strength, but they're really not. They're about physics. And this is hands down the one mistake I see people make most of the time that's stopping them from holding their arm balances. Almost everyone has enough strength. If you have enough strength to pick up groceries from the trunk of your car and put them in your refrigerator, you have enough strength to arm balance. But where we get stuck is not understanding the physics of how the poses work. So this one tip that I'm going to give you in this video is going to change your arm balance game forever. Is this the only thing you need to know about arm balances? Hell no. There's a heck of a lot more you need to know. Every single pose deserves its own warm-up and own pose breakdown. But this is going to light a light bulb in your head as to what is potentially missing from your practice. I often see people coming into poses like crow pose, for example, getting here and then tipping right back to their feet. And they say, nah, I can hold it, but for like a half a second, and then I come right back down. Tell me you know what I'm talking about, yeah? Same thing in poses like hurdler's pose, flying splits. Oh, I come in, and then right away, I come back down. I must not be strong enough to hold the pose. It really very rarely has anything to do with strength. It has to do with what we call your center of gravity. For most people, it's the hip area. For men, sometimes the upper body becomes the center of gravity. But in the case of arm balances, it's really the hips. All right. So what we need to do is transfer our hips over our base. Okay. Our hips, or just generally our center of gravity. So check this out. In order to transfer my base, my hips over my base, I have to shift forward. I don't jump into the pose. I don't kick and pray. I have to deliver enough of my body weight into the balance point to keep my feet off the ground. This is science and physics, not strength. So check this out. One important piece to note is if your elbow is not on top of your wrist, you're not going to balance. Okay? Plain and simple. Check this out. My elbow is behind my wrist. I'm an arm balance teacher. I can do this in my sleep. It's really hard to balance when your elbows are behind your base. So the first thing you need is your elbows to be on top of your base. But did you see what had to happen for me to do that? In order to get my elbow right about over here, I had to go, whoa. This is where people encounter fear. And this is where they go, no, I'm going to fall. Yeah, you might fall. Yeah. The hands are what stops you from falling, your fingertips. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. There is a technique to prevent from falling. But it is true that in order to actually catch balance, you have to go beyond your comfort zone. And this is exactly why I teach arm balances. Because my goal is to help you transform your life in every way. And I bet you that if you shift forward into an arm balance and you go, no, oh my God, that's too scary, I'm just going to come back down. You're doing that in other places in your life too. The new job, leaving the relationship, entering into a new relationship. Every time things get hot, you back out. And what are you missing out on in your life? And what are you missing out on your yoga mat? It's all connected. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So you've got to dig in for your courage. Yeah. So the first thing we need to do is shift way forward until the elbows are on top of the wrists. From here, you might try to lift your feet and they'll still come back down. But Nat, I did what you said. I put my elbows on top of my wrists. Yeah, but that's only half the battle. Only half. What's the other half? The other half is leaning beyond your fear. I call that leaning into the oh shit point. Why do I call it the oh shit point? Because when you get there, you'll be like, oh shit. Yeah, and that's the point that you need to trust. Okay? So step one, stack your elbows over your wrists. Step two, keep shifting. Watch my whole body weight going forward. Whoa, my feet just lifted on their own. I didn't have to lift them. Notice I didn't jump. I shifted, boink, up they go. And then I want to point my toes and pick them up. Yeah, and there's more that happens. You need to be gazing in the right place. You need to be engaging your hands in the right place. But I'm just trying to explain to you the weight shift. Because this and this alone, if you get this, You can be flying your next arm balance in the next 5 minutes. Yes? Cool. In crow pose, it's kind of scary because you're pretty high off the ground, but your body is in a tight little ball. So you don't have to go that far forward. But what about a pose like flying splits, hurdler's pose, Eka Pada Koundinyasana B? It has all of the names, this pose. It's the same exact concept, right? Most people get here and they go, I'm trying, I can't, nah, I'm too weak. Watch, you see how my elbow is on top of my wrist? You can kind of see it right there. My elbow's on top of my wrist. So from here, I gotta go forward, 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 whoop. And when I go far enough forward, the other foot lifts. Yeah, but it doesn't have to do with jumping. It doesn't have to do with hoisting myself up. It has to do with shifting my center of gravity far enough over my base that the feet have no choice but to come up. Okay, this is mechanics and science, not strength. Yes, and one thing I also want you to hear is that your strength is built through the practice. So many people are like, cool, I get that. I'm gonna go do some push-ups. I'm gonna go to the gym for 6 months, and then maybe I'll try some arm balances. You don't need to do that. The actual practice of doing the arm balances is what builds your strength. Yeah, you can't practice arm balances and not get stronger. It's not possible. You will get stronger. But you need to understand that the beginning requirement is not strength. The requirement is multifold, fourfold, in fact. Number one, prep your body. Understand exactly what needs to happen intellectually in your brain so that when you ask your body to do it, you know what's going on. You're not just trying to replicate a shape based on how it looks and what you saw on Instagram. You're replicating it based on a solid understanding of how it works. The next thing is your body parts do something different with every piece of the pose. Crow pose, we want the upper back rounded. We want to push the ground away. We want to suck the knees up to the chest. You should be preparing those things before you do the arm balance. So that when it's time to do the arm balance, your body's like, oh, I totally know this, we just did it. Yeah? Then you got to practice the pose not balancing. How many different ways can you recreate crow pose or recreate flying splits or hurdler's pose without balancing? Get the imprint of the shape in your brain and in your body. And lastly, you get to trust yourself to lean forward. And what really, really helps is getting coaching. Having somebody who knows what they're doing look at you and go, oh, you almost had it. You need to shift a little more forward. Or, oh, look at what happened to your left elbow. Hug that elbow in a little bit. Coaching makes a huge difference. And inside my arm balance program, Yogi Flight School, I work with all of my students to provide personalized coaching on exactly where they're at in their practice. And we get people their arm balances unlocked in a matter of days and weeks, where they otherwise might have been stuck on them for months and years. So to recap, the most important point I want you to take from this video, it is not your strength. If you are not able to hold your legs up in an arm balance, it is not that you don't have the strength. It's that you have not shifted far enough forward to counterbalance the weight of your legs, okay? That's all it is. And you need to know how far forward to go in every pose. And you need to know how to prep your body parts so that when you put them there, they're ready for it, okay? If unlocking your arm balance practice is something that you're interested in, you've been wanting to get into, I would love to have you play with me inside Yogi Flight School. Check out the link in the description below to check out the program. And I hope to see you inside. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Happy ninjaing.